Today's video is something I get asked a lot about. How do I wear color on my eyes? I know I used to be so afraid of wearing color on my face, especially on my eyes. I thought it would look dated, I didn't think it would look good, and it just wouldn't be wearable. I'm here to tell you that yes, you can wear color on your eyes, and you can wear it in a way that's modern and flattering and super easy to do. By the way, I'm Jeannie. I'm a pro makeup artist. I live in Los Angeles. I work with celebrities, beauty brands, and everyone in between. Welcome to my channel. I'm sure you can see that I have already done my base and my eyebrows. I'll put a link in the description box below to my full-length brow tutorial. And please let me know if you want me to do a foundation series where I can show you how to find your shade and how to apply it. The first thing I want to show you is the idea of just placing a wash of color all over the lid, and then I want to show you how I would balance that out. First things first, I've already prepped my eyelid with concealer, so I want to make sure that I have a flat, clean canvas that doesn't have any discoloration and it's ready for the eyeshadow to go on. That's another rule that I really use across the board whenever it comes to any kind of eyeshadow, making sure that the eyelid is actually color corrected and ready and prepped for whatever I'm going to put on top of it. I tend to recommend a metallic palette for people who are new to color, who just want to sort of try and experiment with different shades. The thing I love about metallics is that they're very soft looking on the eyelid, so they give you a little bit more of dimension. They're not as flat as just like a primary color that you would put right on top of the eyelid. And another thing I want you to keep in mind is thinking about your own eye color. So for me, because I have brown eyes, I would steer more towards the blues because the blue is going to make my brown eyes pop. And because I was born with hazel eyes, but then they later turned brown, I still have a lot of green in my brown eyes. And if you think about what makes green eyes pop, that's going to be your amber colors right here. And sometimes even if you want to go tonally, you'll do some of the bronzes, but bronzy tones also look great on blue eyes. If you have green eyes, I will always recommend the ambery tones and even the more purple tones. For blue eyes, I would definitely steer more towards the bronzy tones, which I know aren't necessarily bright, but if we take this palette from Bakeup Beauty, I would definitely steer more towards these orangey tones because that's definitely going to make blue eyes pop. So if you're thinking about somewhere in this family, I'm not saying you have to go this bright, but thinking about if you see a color, if it has a beautiful sort of orange tone to it, if you have blue eyes, it's really going to make them pop. Now, before we do any color on the eyelid, I want to take a neutral palette. This is the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette on a Smith 235 brush, and we're just going to go in this color right here in the top right. I want you to think about any color that's going to give you a little bit of contour in the crease. I don't want you to go with a cool tone color. I want you to think of a warm color. Whether how deep you go is totally up to you. I like to do something that's a little bit deeper than my skin tone, and then I'm going to place it just on my brow bone like this. Now what this is going to do, it's going to create balance with the color that I'm going to place on the lid, and balance is the key to a look, even if it is a really bright color, to it looking like it almost belongs on your face, if that makes any sense. Just doing the other side, taking a clean 237, just going to buff that out. I want to create a hint of that color. You don't have to do this, but this is a trick that I really love to do, and I think it helps the color kind of pop and look interesting. Going back into the Master Metallics palette, I'm going to take, I think I'm going to do this ambery color and mix it with the purple. So I'm just going to take this all over the lid, and as you can see, it's really sheer. And this is a Smith 235 brush. It's a natural bristle brush that's also going to lend itself to not placing as much product on the lid, giving you more of that sheer wash I was talking about. I'm going to place it up to the eye socket bone, whatever you want to call it, the crease. I have deep set eyes, so I have a very deep socket. I'm going to go back in with my fluffy brush and just buff that out. And do you see how the warmth of my brow bone and my crease just kind of gives that color a little bit of balance? By placing it next to the color, it just gives it sort of like a fluidity, and it makes it look not so stark. And this is the first mascara I reached for. It's the Divine Lashes from Max Factor. So here's our first look. Little pop of color, super easy to do and easy to wear. Now, keeping along the same line as far as using just eyeshadow, I'm going to pick up the Bakeup Beauty primary palette that I showed you earlier. And one of the things I like to do, especially when I'm wearing a really bright color, is I like to just place it on one part of the eye. So I'm going to take, on a Thrive Causemetics brush, this yellow right here. I'm just going to load up the brush, and then I'm just going to place it right here in the inner part of the eye. Just like that. And while yes, it is a little unconventional, I think it's really fun. Taking a smaller detail brush, I'm going to go back in the yellow and then mix it with a little bit of the orange, because why not? And I'm just going to intensify that color. And I'm putting it under and on top. I know it's a little crazy, but it's also really fun. And let me show you how to make this wearable. I'm going to take this champagne color right here on a flat brush. This is another Delium brush. I'm just going to sweep it all across my lid. And one thing that does is it marries the color that stops here and softens it just a little bit. I'm going to take it a little bit more on the bottom. Another thing you can do, if this is still just a little bit too much, go in and grab your gold shadow. This one broke, unfortunately, RIP. So I'm going to take this and then just go over the yellow. So do you see how the color just pops behind that mascara and it really opens up the eye? Yes, I know it is a really bright color, but I feel like all you'd have to do is put a little bit of blush and bronzer on and maybe a little bit of gloss. And this is totally wearable. Obviously not together, but I just wanted to show you some options with eyeshadow. Now we're going to move on to colored eyeliners. This is one of my favorite ways to wear color. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. Starting once again with a clean eyelid, I have a little bit of concealer with powder to set it. So then we're ready to go in with eyeshadow. Taking once again the Master Mattes palette, I'm going to go in with that color that I love and maybe hit it with a little bit of a deeper warm brown. And then I'm just going to go into my crease. You're probably noticing a theme here. I'm telling you, this makes all the difference. It just looks a little bit more elevated and it makes it look like you didn't just slap color on and call it a day. Which, if that's what you want to do, go right ahead. But for me, I love to just take it and then elevate it a little bit. And then going back into the Master Metallics palette, I'm going to take that champagne color and sweep it all over my eyelid. This is Aqua Shimmer from NYX. I'm just going to place it on my lower lash line and I'm going to bring it all the way in to the tear duct. Like that. And that's it. You can put mascara on this and you have a beautiful neutral eye on the top with a pop of color on the bottom with some black mascara. I'm going to take the pencil again and go in my lower waterline just to give it a little extra oomph. This is probably my favorite way to wear color on my eyes just because I love the balance of the warmth on the crease with a little bit of shimmer on the lid with the pop of color on the bottom. And a lot of times if I have the time, if I'm feeling tired, I will use this trick and it helps me look so much more awake. And for green eyes, you could use a beautiful amber shimmery. I know Charlotte Tilbury makes one. And for blue eyes, you could use a kind of bronzy, terracotta, orangey metallic liner underneath. And that would just make them pop so pretty. Now for this side, we're going to amp it up just a little bit and we're going to go in with some liquid liner. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not the best at liquid liner, particularly on myself because my eyes are very deep set. And I have this bone right here that makes it really difficult to create a good wing. But we're going to do it anyway because I like to challenge myself. And I'm going to show you how you can do a tiny little wing on the edge of your eye to bring a little bit of color into your makeup. Because that's the best part about it. Your winged liner doesn't have to be black. It doesn't even have to be brown. It could be red or blue, or in our case, lilac. So I'm just going to relax my face, looking into the mirror. I go over my little fold that I have right there. Take a brush, a little bit of the product. So I realized that you couldn't really see what I was doing with that pale liquid liner. I went back into the Bakeup palette with my brush into the purple and created a stronger wing. Another thing I did while my eye was open was connect to the top of my lash line. So when my eye is open, it looks like a wing. Looks a little weird when my eye is closed, but that's okay. I'm not walking around like this, right? I'm walking around like this. And that's what we want. It's not really a baby wing, but it's definitely graphic and it's a little pop of color. I also wanted to mention colored mascaras because I think they're an easy way to add color into your makeup routine without a lot of effort. My personal favorites are all blue. That's because I have tried other colored mascaras, but because my lashes are dark, blue tends to be the only thing that really shows up on my dark lashes. And also because I have brown eyes, blue makes them pop. My personal favorites, I have the Thrive Causemetics one. This is the color Nola. It's the liquid lash extension mascara, so it's the tubing formula, which I am a huge fan of. I love these mascaras. I also know that they just came out with a bunch of colored mascara, which I'm very interested to try. Hint, hint, Thrive Causemetics. I've actually worked with the brand before, and that's how I was introduced to the mascaras, and I love them. They're in my kit, and they're also in my personal kit as well. But this is one of the blue mascaras that I love to wear. It's a little more muted, so you can't see it as much, but it looks really beautiful with a purple eyeliner on the lash line with this against it. Bellissima. My other two favorite mascaras are bright cobalt blue. There's the Maybelline Sky High formula. This is the newest one to my collection. This one just came out, I believe. And then my tried and true L'Oreal Voluminous. I actually featured this in another tutorial that I did right when I first started on YouTube. It was my colorful makeup tutorial. I'll link that below as well. Full disclosure, if I'm feeling tired, I will wear this mascara or I'll wear this one. I tend to put them together because I like to layer them. I will build it up on the lash line to where it makes my lashes really, really blue. And I always get compliments on it. And I love to tell people that it's these two or this one. I love to tell people that it's a drugstore mascara and you can get it at Target or at any drugstore. And the formulas are so good. I love the Sky High formula in the Black is Black. I think it's one of the best mascaras on the market. And this formula is just as good. This is just kind of my OG favorite because this was what sort of introduced me to colored mascaras, and I've bought probably at least 8 or 9 tubes of this in however many years I've been wearing colored mascara. Highly recommend this. Really easy to apply, obviously, because it's just like applying mascara, and it's a really fun way to add color into your routine. My personal philosophy when it comes to wearing color, whether it's on your eyes or whether it's a bright lipstick or a red lipstick, is that the rest of the face must be polished and balanced. To keep the face looking effortless, there has to be an ease to the rest of the makeup. What I mean by that is keeping the cheeks and the lips a little bit more muted so that they complement the color on your eyes and not compete with it. Case in point, I did finish the rest of my face because I wanted to show you exactly what I would do if I was wearing this look out in the world. So obviously I've done my skin, my brows are done. I used a little bit of contour. I used the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand in light medium. And then for my blush, I used Magic Hour from Tower 28. It is a little bit messy. Sorry, it's my personal one. I love this blush. It's a beautiful, beautiful neutral blush for any light to medium skin tones. And for my lips, I used this Buxom gloss in Hot Toddy, and it's very much in the same family as this Tower 28 cheek. So again, keeping it neutral and not competing with the color on my eyes. I really hope that this helped. I don't want any of you to be afraid to wear color. Wearing color is so fun. It's so freeing. I spent so much time being afraid to wear color because, like I said, I thought it would look dated. And I don't think this looks dated at all. I think it looks really fun and fresh, and that's exactly what makeup is supposed to be. If you like this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this from me. If you have any other requests of videos you might like to see, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a brand new video.